Hey, I'm Siobhan, and I love talking about all the things related to freedom and personal growth. And I'm on a journey to redefine freedom on my own terms as I become the woman I desire to be. Each week, I'll share in real time what I'm learning as I do my inner work while creating a safe space for my listeners to feel seen. If you desire to be free and live a life that feels good to you, then you're in the right place for beautiful conversations that's going to support you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to the Siobhan J. Middleton podcast. Now let's start the show. Hey, y'all. Happy New Year. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be back. As you know, I took a much needed break towards the end of the year to just take care of myself. When you're putting out work on a consistent basis and sharing the way that I do, it's important for me to take time for myself. And so that is what I did. I had a really great holiday, both New Year's and Christmas and Thanksgiving. They all were really, really good. And also, I'm glad that it's all behind us. I'm in a really, really, really beautiful mental space, which feels really, really good. And it doesn't feel like it's the new year energy. It really just feels like there's a shift in me that I am experiencing, and it just so happened to be the beginning of the year. Towards the end of the year, I did take time I read some books, I hung out with friends, spent some time by myself, and just enjoying my time and being present and reflective and being in the moment. So it was a great holiday season, and I'm excited to be back in your ears again. And today I want to talk about my word for 2024, which this is something, if you've been following for a while, that I do every single year, where I come up with a word that's going to be the intention for the year. And then I also like to come up with a feeling. So I first want to reflect over 2023 and kind of share what happened for me last year. And then I'll share with you my word and feeling for this year, which actually right before recording, I got more insight and the word has changed from when I originally took some notes. So here we go. So let's first reflect over 2023. One of the things that I am using as a tool to help me is called the Year Compass. And I've shared this many times, and I'll also drop the link in the show notes, where it is a beautiful tool that helps you reflect and process your year, and then also prepare for the upcoming year. So I'm working on the 2023-2024. And as I'm writing down everything that I experienced this year, I lived my life. I lived my life in the most beautiful way, and I'm so proud of that. And one of the things that I'm so glad that I did was I took a lot of pictures. And so as I was writing down all of the past events for 2023, I was able to go through my camera roll and see a lot of what I've done. And last year, I did not keep a planner. And so I didn't write a lot down outside of my journal, but the pictures really helped me see that, oh, you lived your life fully. And I recommend that for you, just in general, to take more pictures, take more video, capture the moments, because life is moving very swiftly and we want to be able to hold on to the moments that we have. And so I think taking pictures, journaling, capturing videos, all of that is a great way to hold on to these memories that we have and show us that we're actually living life, I will say that I haven't done the Year Compass in the past few years because life has truly been lifing and I didn't have the energy nor capacity. I really was just focused on taking care of myself and taking care of my children. So I'm really glad that I was able to sit down and carve out time to reflect, and I actually wanted to do the Year Compass. So I love that for me. And again, I have a lot of experiences that bring me so much joy, and I'll share some of the things that I wrote down. So the very first page of the year compass, it tells you to think about important events, family gatherings, friendly get-togethers, or significant projects for you to write down. And they suggest that you go through your calendar, but again, I was able to go through my photos. And when I filled up the sheet, I'm writing outside of the box that's provided because I did so much. Getting a divorce, taking skating lessons, going to book signings, networking events. I bought a new car, and then some moments that weren't so happy. My grandmother passed away. Having to set boundaries with family members was also tough. I started cooking more. I hung out with my friends. I traveled to Tulum, Atlanta, Chicago, and Detroit, all in the second half of the year. And again, my page is full to capacity, but as I reflect and I look at it, I'm like, oh man, you really, really showed up for yourself this year. You really enjoyed life. You really did things that brought you joy. There was some grief in there that you're processing, and all of that feels really good to be able to see that, yes, I have lived my life. We've had some really, really beautiful moments. And one of the things that I want to share that happened over winter break is that my daughter, who's an artist, got accepted to 3 art colleges. And not only did she get accepted to 3 art colleges, she got a 6-figure scholarship to the school that she wants to go to, which is in New York. And this particular school is prestigious, and it's considered the Yale or Princeton or Stanford of art colleges, and that's where my daughter will be attending. And y'all, I am still wrapping my mind around that. I didn't even know you could get a 6-figure scholarship, just one by itself. And I'm so proud, and I'm basking in that. And that is something that has brought me the most joy, that we're still in this celebratory moment and taking it all in as we prepare for my daughter to go to college this year. And I'm sharing that to say, there's so many beautiful moments that I've experienced in 2023. And also there's some moments that have been bittersweet. There's been some sadness, some grief, some anger, some pain. And I'm so grateful that I captured all of this so I can see how I lived my life and how did my word for 2023 show up for me. And so if you remember, my word for 2023 was curiosity. And I wanted to get curious about getting to know myself on a deeper level. There has been many identity shifts, and I'm actually going to be going through several even this year based on everything that's happening in my life. And what I chose to do is to get curious about this new space that I was in, because truth be told, it's unfamiliar. And I knew that based on where I'm at now as a mom of 2 children, divorced, a friend, someone who has lost someone who means the world to me, and then dating and just everything that I'm doing, I knew that this would be another deeper level for me to get curious about how I show up for myself and in my life. And I'm learning so much about myself, thankfully through therapy. I'm really learning at a very deep level. So some of the things that I experienced this year that I got really curious about was getting to know myself on a deeper level, taking myself out on dates, spending time with myself, allowing myself to grieve and getting curious about my process as it relates to grief, getting curious about how I parent my children, curious about dating. I really just allowed myself to explore. And honestly, I'm still in that space. Like, I'm not out of it. I think probably the rest of my days, I'll be getting curious. And that's one of the things my therapist, she talks about often is, when I'm having conversations or different things come up, she'll say, so how can we get curious about that? And so that actually has been helpful as, curiosity has been my word for this year. And then how I wanted to feel this year, I wanted to feel present. I wanted to be in the moment. And that is not easy to do. I'm learning and I'm getting better, but it is difficult when there can be so many things happening at one time to really focus and be present and in the moment and mindful in real time. So that is something that I'm still working on. I will say that I like the way that I showed up for myself this year or last year. I like the way that I attempted to be present. And when I was aware of it, I'm grateful that I was able to have self-awareness. And then moments when I'm not. And it's all a learning process. And this is, again, helping me get to know myself. So now I want to share my word for 2024. And initially it was going to be the word rebuild, because I felt like I had lost a lot and many things have impacted me where I will be spending time rebuilding based on what was lost. And when I look up the definition of rebuild, it says to make important repairs and to change something. And then another definition spoke to repairing things that were damaged. And that didn't feel right. I'm like, no, I don't feel that I've been damaged in any way. And so some of the synonyms that came up and the word that resonated with me the most was restore, which means to return to its original state after depletion or loss. And so the way that I'm applying that, if I go back to my younger self, there was many things that I lost. And in losing relationships and not getting the love and the foundation that I needed, I made choices based on the loss that I experienced. And so it's going to take time to restore that part of me and also continue to become the version of me that I have yet to become, right? Every choice that I made as a result of the loss has impacted me. And so I am going to focus on restoring that part, but then also not allowing what has been taken from me to shape me. So again, the intention is to restore the parts of me that have experienced pain, hurt, loss, restore those parts, and then also lean into becoming more whole and more complete. So that's my word for 2024 is restore. And that feels in alignment to where I'm at. And then the feeling that I want to experience this year is sweetness. I want every aspect of my life to feel sweet. You know how when you eat a piece of fruit, let's say a pineapple or a peach, and you bite into it and it's so juicy and it's so sweet and you just want to savor it? That is how I want to feel this year about every aspect of my life. I can just imagine that feeling. And so as I'm moving about intentionally working on a restoration or to restore, and then making sure that my life feels sweet. And that feels really, really good to me. When I think about it, like I can feel the delight. And yeah, we're only 9 days into the year, but I will say it's been a beautiful, beautiful start. And my life feels very sweet. There's been some shifts that I'm going to talk about in upcoming episodes. And I had hinted around to this on Instagram that I'm set some dating goals for this year that I'm going to share with you in an upcoming episode, because I had a good dating experience in 2023, but there are some things that I want to tweak and I want to be more intentional. And I want to share that with you because I believe, we're all on our journeys of redefining freedom, and me sharing with you is helping me become more free and not hiding this aspect of my life. Now, as y'all know, I'm not going to tell all my business, but the things that I feel will be helpful, I'm going to share at what I'm learning in this experience. And I am optimistic about dating. I believe that it's fun. I have met some great people and I'm excited to continue in this space, but I'll give you more insight on an upcoming episode specifically around dating. All in all, I am happy to be back in your ears, sharing with you how I'm navigating my life as it relates to being free. And I have ran into several people over the holiday break that I've seen in person or whether they DM'd me thanking me for my work and how proud they are to be able to be a part of my journey, but how I'm helping them. Like, that has been really beautiful because I know this work isn't just for me, it's for you. And your life will be different and better as long as you continue to show up for yourself. So I encourage you to download the Year Compass. Again, it's a free tool. I'll put the link in the show notes. I encourage you to come up with a word and a feeling for this year that you will be intentional about as you navigate this life, If you're happy to see me back, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to support my work in any way, the best way to do that is to treat me to a cup of coffee. Thank you to people who do this every single week. I enjoy it. And then also, I would love for you to subscribe to my newsletter where I go a little bit more in detail about what I'm experiencing, and I'm able to express that, in writing, and I share a little bit more. So you can sign up for my newsletter by clicking the link in the show notes, share it with a friend. You can share articles. You can become a paid subscriber. Once you click the button, it'll tell you a little bit more about that if you choose to do that. Thank you in advance. I would love for you to share this episode with a friend who you think could benefit off of what I expressed today, and then have a conversation about it, Again, I'm going to continue to remind you that my work is for men and women, whoever needs to be inspired to redefine freedom. So share my work with anyone. I would love for you to leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcast, rate it 5 stars. The more that you do that, the more my work gets seen in the world, and that helps me in so many beautiful ways. So thank you in advance for that. I would love to hear from you, whether you leave a comment on a newsletter, whether you send me an email, shoot me a DM. I would love to know your thoughts about the episode. I'm the person that responds, so definitely feel free to do that. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in, sending you so much love and light. And I hope you have an amazing year, a year that you can be proud of, a year where you truly show up for yourself, you define what freedom means to you, and you live your life unapologetically. That is what I want for you. All right, until next time.